speaking of, also, again, kind of back into the outrage thing. So we've got another race hoax.
Yay!
Wee woo, wee
If you guys
woo.
remember, actually, I don't know if it was our comeback to the podcast or one
Bussy Small Dick.
Yeah, Bussy Small Dick, I think, was our comeback to the podcast, and that was a race hoax.
Yeah, I think
This is our specialty. Did you write a song for this one? No.
We got a race hoax. Race hoax. We got another race hoax on our hands.
Okay.
This time it's a woman. This time not a man. But this time it's still a race hoax.
That was really good.
Yeah.
You put a little button on the
Yeah,
end.
not too bad.
Bam.
So this one has been, so basically the rest of this podcast is just going to be about Trump just fucking getting slam dunks left and right.
It sucks, dude.
I mean,
we live in a slam dunk economy.
You know, I don't really care, just because it's the kind of thing of like, I even said it in 2016 when he won. I was just like, yeah, this is what we deserve. Because if you didn't know me at that time, but around like 2012 was when I was starting to get, it was really when the trans movement was starting to get really aggressive, where I'm like, something really bad is happening here. And that's kind of when the identitarian stuff was happening.
You mean like the trans movement becoming too extreme for you to align yourself with?
Exactly.
Okay.
Like and basically, like, one of the things we're going to talk about a little later is that I'm not even really being funny right now. I'm kind of at the point to where I think I'm going to kind of abandon the trans community if they don't start to step up and talk about some of this stuff, because I feel like they're enabling predators in a lot of ways.
Well, let's jump back into.
Yeah,
we'll
so-
get to that in a moment.
So
but let's jump back into
Erica Thomas. So I pulled up a Fox News article because it just had everything sort of concisely in it.
Yeah. So just be aware of that, everybody.
They don't really. They seem to be pretty straight on it. I skimmed it, but if you don't mind.
Okay. Let's see. The headline says lawmaker at center of viral grocery store dispute suggested Parkland shooter was victim of the system.
So this is where they spin it. So
That's
actually, let's not even worry about this, because I actually want to get past this part. She was just basically, what she was saying is that because she was an orphan and he was an orphan, that's why she felt some kinship to him. I don't really think that that's a big deal. I think that feeling an empathy or understanding for these people that do horrible things sometimes can be useful. Sometimes it's sort of pointless, like with pedophiles, but still. This one's pretty funny to me.
In a separate March 2015 tweet, Thomas called herself Jussie Smollett's biggest fan. Smollett falsely claimed earlier this year that he was violently assaulted by pro-Trump racists in Chicago.
Okay.
Oh boy. Okay, on Monday, Erica Thomas reiterated her viral claim that a white man told her to go back where you came from, that's a quote, during a testy argument in a supermarket checkout lane after walking back the claim over the weekend. The man has denied the encounter unfolded the way she described. All right. The episode, hot on the heels of a national controversy over President Trump's remarks directed at 4 progressive Democrats, quickly made the rounds on social media. No kidding. Let's see. Multiple news organizations on Sunday portrayed the episode as a plausible instance of racism. Thomas herself acknowledged in an interview with local media on Saturday that she did not recall exactly what the man, Eric Sparks, had said to her. That's always how it goes.
So what I love about this story is just sort of I don't know if it's hubris exactly, but it's just sort of that she wouldn't consider. So there's a few videos, and I think that they're on this as well, which is why I picked this article. But so first she put out the tweet that went viral saying that this white racist man in the grocery store in the Publix had told her that to go back from where she came from or whatever. And then it was something along the lines of, like, obviously in Trump's America, blah, 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 whatever.
The incident, I don't know if it even mentioned it, but the incident is that they were both in the express line, and she allegedly had more than 10 items.
She admits it. She said she had 15. The guy said she had 20.
Okay.
So either way, she had more.
Confirmed she has more than 10 items on her conveyor belt.
Right.
You actually let me know, because I somehow overlooked this. The man was in front of her at the express checkout and had 10 or less items, 10 or fewer, excuse me.
Right.
And made a comment towards her because she had more than 10 items in the express lane.
Right.
And that sparked the dispute at a fucking grocery store.
Right. So, I mean, and that's what's so funny about this is, like, again, the right is trying to paint this as a slam. So this guy, Eric Sparks, he said he's a lifelong Democrat. He's a white Cuban like you are.
Hell yeah.
But it was great because people went on. He made his Facebook public, so people could go on it and see these, like, just insane anti-Trump tirades that he had. So clearly didn't fit the mark. But her ego is so big, and she wanted to feed into the race marketing thing. Now Erica Thomas is calling the cops on me. What the fuck? So she wanted to feed into this outrage economy so badly that she was willing to not even consider that this could backfire on her. Which just goes to show these people are fucking insane. They're absolutely out of their goddamn mind. Because, like, why... You saw how badly this went for Jussie Smollett. Yeah. Why would you even take an ounce of this knowing that this could backfire on you? It is absolutely absurd. And again, the level of ego and hubris is... And then what's so great, too, is she was trying to, like, blow it off. Like, oh, I was in that line because I'm 9 months pregnant. She's also massively fucking obese. So, like, it's one of those things of, like, yeah, your little 10-pound disaster that you have in there, maximum, doesn't account for the other, like, 95 pounds that you could, like, serve to lose. But it's true. I mean, it's one of those things of, like, don't give me the thing about how it's hard to stand up because your body's a fucking mess. And, like, and you probably were just stop it. I mean, it was one of those things that just, like, stop. And you've already insulted our intelligence so much. Don't do it any further. Please, for the love of God, don't do it anymore. So hang on, just I want you to.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
You said that part. Sorry, read this part.
He said, "Go back." Those types of words. Thomas said on Saturday. I don't want to say. He said, "Go back to your country."
Oh, but you certainly did in your tweet.
Yeah,
you certainly did in your tweet.
She posted a video of her sobbing about the things he said.
Right.
She says, "I don't want to say he said go back to your country or go back to where you came from, but he was making those types of references, is what I remember."
Yeah.
And that is so clearly like. Transparent. He didn't say those things at all.
Right. So
if you say it initially and then you go back and say I don't remember what he said, he didn't say it. We've seen that so many times in viral videos or viral hoaxes like this. They go back, they try to double down on what their claim was, but to make it seem that they are not culpable for this.
Of course. Because but again, so you have to think about like all the planning that went into what she was doing. So first, she puts out the tweet, which was very concise. This is what he said. This is a result of this and Trump's rhetoric. In order to, as somebody who's a relatively irrelevant politician, to then latch herself onto the squad, who seems to kind of have viral fame, I think, to their own detriment at this point, which I think is Trump's whole goal right now, is just to make them super in the forefront so then they can't escape how ridiculous of people they are and also how extreme their views are. But then, so on top of the tweet she put out, she thought this was a good idea as well.
So you know what I decided? I decided to go live because I'm very upset because people are getting really out of control with this. With this white privilege stuff. I'm at the grocery store. And I'm in the 10 aisle, the aisle that says 10 items or less. Yes, I have 15 items, but I'm 9 months pregnant, and I can't stand up for long. And this white man comes.
Okay, so you get the point. I do want to go to the video of the guy actually, like he basically crashed her press conference that she held for herself.
Yeah.
And then watch the way that she reacts to him and how he's behaving. I think that's really important to watch.
Yeah. Very disturbing.
Okay, and tell me what happened on Friday in Publix.
This woman was in the express lane that says 10 items or less, 2 other lanes completely free open. I go pay for my 3 items in one of the other lanes. It frustrated me to see her there with that many items in her. She had about 20 items. So
this guy's a tattletale pussy. That's, I think, the first part that we need to talk about.
He also says frustrated.
Which
drives me crazy.
It drives me crazy,
dude. Especially that word, frustrated.
Frustrated, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
It throws me off.
Yeah, well, this guy, when you hear him speak more, you'll realize he's not exactly a Rhodes Scholar.
Frustrated me. I went to the 2 liquor cash or customer associates Publix and talked to them by the front door, and I asked them, is there anything that could be done, so on and so on. She goes, well, it's not Publix policy. We're not allowed to confront any customers about the express lane. She goes, well, a customer came. So I thought about it for a second, almost walked out, walked back in, went up.
So again, he's such a fucking pussy. like again, I was saying to Sean before we started the podcast, the proper reaction to someone behaving like this is just to kind of roll your eyes.
Right.
And it's like, I mean, when we were buying beer a little while ago, there was a woman with 2 dogs that were barking in the car, and she started just pummeling her pit bull over the head with a fucking rolled up newspaper, to the point where I shouted at her, "That's not helping. You're not helping anything." And so like that's a moment in which I felt it was appropriate to say something.
Because there was a victim.
Right. And in this case, it's just like literally all you're doing is creating drama for yourself for no reason.
Yeah.
And anyway, let's let him
To
continue.
the lady, which I did not know her name, did not know her
So,
stature as a state legislature or anything.
Watch when she chimes in.
Asked
Sir,
her,
you don't get a spotlight. You don't get anything at all because you degraded me and you paraded me, and everybody needs to see
You know
your
it's
face
on camera, right?
Yes, I know it's on camera, and everybody needs to
camera.
know
Oh, boy.
what you did to me, and what you did to me as a woman that is 9 months pregnant, and you think you're going to get away with this?
The pregnant excuse is so fucking gauche to me. It's just it's like you chose to do this. Like if you're so severely disabled, like I mean, it just there's a level of pregnant privilege that just drives me fucking
mommy
crazy.
jacking?
Oh my god,
Huge
it's the
thing.
worst. But you know, it's so funny because she keeps hitting on this point of if it's his 15 minutes of fame, and it's like, bitch, that is such a projection because this was supposed to be your 15 minutes of fame, and he stole it from you.
Wow.
Good
No,
luck,
you're
man.
not. You are going to jail.
You're
And
showing
this speaks
yourself.
for
What?
every... Oh, no. I'm showing myself.
So-
this
Good luck,
speaks
man.
for every...
She's going to pursue legal action against him, which is like, what are you gonna do? He made a comment towards you.
Right, and then he mentions it in the video too. That well, he'll tell you. Watch.
Black, brown, and any woman that's out there that's 9 months pregnant, and a white man comes up to you and calls you a son
not white.
of I don't care what
I'm
you
not
are.
white.
Yes, you are.
I'm not
If
Yes.
anybody comes up to you and calls you a son of an, I am facing the man that degraded me and berated me, and I'm not crying. No, I'm not. I'm standing.
So based on their behavior next to each other, who do you think did more of the degrading and berating?
Dude.
And
Her
he
voice.
even warned
She is
he even
so
warned her.
elevated.
He's like, you realize this is on camera right now,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Oh yeah, he played that card, and
Yeah.
that was a point towards her. Like, listen, you have every chance to dial it back right now,
and you're not willing to because your
No.
ego is so fucking huge that you're getting some of the spotlight stolen from you in this moment because you act like a fucking idiot. And anyway, we'll give it a little bit more.
I'm
of
not
that.
white.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, and then she goes, "Yes, you are," which is true. He is white. I think if you can pass as white, you
That's
can't
like
really
my
claim
family.
other. Yeah,
Yeah, we're white.
Yeah.
right in front of you. And if you know how you made me feel yesterday, if you know how you made
Back
my
off,
daughter feel,
back off before I call the police.
call the police right now because
Back
they
off.
are looking for you.
No.
I
They
already
are
talked to
looking
them.
for you.
I already talked to
It's
them.
okay.
Yeah.
I am so
Back
happy
off.
that you're here.
Am
And
I
I'm happy
arrested?
that everybody needs to see this man that did this to me. And he thinks that he gets a 5 minutes of fame. You think that you're going to come
Oh,
up when you
boy.
see this, when you
It's,
see
it
this,
just
and
looks so
everybody says
terrible.
that you're gonna come
And look at
up
her shirt.
And get a spotlight? No, you're not.
Blessed
The only spotlight
mama.
You're going to get is everybody needs to see the man
Ma'am,
that did this to
are
a
you a
woman
state
that's
legislator?
9 months
Are
pregnant.
you a state
Thank
legislator?
you. Nobody is here for you.
Are you a state
Nobody is here for
legislator?
you. Thank you. We
Wait
can
a
see
minute. Do you see her Coco Chanel earrings?
I do. Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
Where
so-
is that money from her nonprofit Speak Out Loud coming or going to? Where is that
Yeah,
money?
you
being
mentioned that
spent?
she has a pretty noble charity.
It's
which-
funny if you look up her her Wikipedia page. She has in 2013 she was doing good work. She got nominated for a Nobel Peace Prize or something like that for her work for
I feel like
foster children.
I feel like yeah. Well, I considering that she again, we're looking at two absolute Rhodes scholars right now. These two people, I think there's a pretty low bar of entry now in terms of basically just us being gay men. We're already just such good people.
We
no
are.
matter what we do, we're just good people.
we are just listen to this podcast.
Although I think white men, white gay men, and Asians are now on the same plane. We're all shit now. We're all dog shit.
I think I said this maybe 2 episodes ago. Our whiteness overrides
Our gayness, yeah, and being men. That's
Yeah,
a big one.
white maleness.
Yeah, and you know, and I think in terms of how feminists view the world and how it should change, we are the most hedonistic people on the fucking planet. So they
Gay
would hate
white men.
gay white men. Yeah, well, just gay men in general.
Gay men.
Yeah.
We do pump cum into literally everything.
Because
That's what we do.
I feel like we have cheat codes. We fucking cheated life and we made God angry
know.
and baby Jesus weeps
We're
every
sexual
time.
beings and we are attracted to other sexual beings.
Right.
We're honest with each other.
Yeah.
We just have sex.
We fuck and then we ask each other's names afterwards. It's kind of the
Yeah, we're demons.
Demons, yeah. Not Jeff. We're a different kind. We're like fun demons. They're not like Jeffrey Epstein demons.
That's true. I want to be in our hell,
Yes.
not his hell.
Not his hell. So, again, so we got Ray's hoax. So that one's out of the way.